Hello, boys and girls. It is Happy Friday again. And on this Friday, I decided to make the assignment very easy so we can get out early and have a good weekend. Or if some of you are not caught up with sending in every single assignment that we've done, you need to work on that. Send in a couple a day on any back assignments. But hopefully by next week, everybody should be caught up. I want to make a correction on this last 14. I wrote here 291. It actually should be 292. So again, that is going to go in the spot, that video 14, page 292, your name, in the email submission part. Or you can just put video 14, work, and then your first name. Again, get caught up on some of those assignments. I'm going to be putting more in RenWeb this weekend. Alrighty. So we're going to be doing video 15. This is how the email should be labeled. You can put video 15 work and again your first name, or video 15 C65, because that's what we're going to be doing. But it doesn't matter. Either one of those will do. Now this is a very, very important assignment with clear instructions. If you do not follow the instructions, you absolutely will not get full credit. Number one, your work has to be neat. Number two, all of the work today is going to go in the spiral. No exceptions, because there just isn't enough room on this worksheet. Because some of you get started here and then you start taking shortcuts. There is no room. Please heed my word. You will not get full credit because I cannot see your work in here. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what you can do. However, I'm going to take, let's see, I was going to do the letter I. So if I'm doing the letter I, again, I'm not even going to start it here. I'm going to go ahead and write 7/12. You must put the division sign, but then you don't need to rewrite this. You're going to do the check plus version. So let's see how that would look. So I'm going to put and do these problems in the order so I can see that you did them along with me. So I'm going to put the 7/12 divided by, and then again, we can do the check plus. So it's going to be over 8. That's going to be 2 times 8 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it's 21 over 8. 21 over 8. Do you see how nice, neat, and clean that is? That is what you are going to do. And then you may absolutely not you cannot bring 7/12 and then put 8/21 because you're not showing that it's a division. So show me the division, and then it's dizzy division. So next step will be leave, change, and flip. So this first part where you did your check plus must stay clean with nothing crossed out. I'm expecting scholarly work. I know you can do it. We are covenant warriors. And who's that? Who's that? Ooh, I forgot to show you a character. I don't like his real name, so I renamed him. I'm just going to call him Squirrely Squirrel. All right. Again, I think he's a 1999 little squirrel. I don't remember. But he is squirrely. That is for sure. I see him all over my trees, all over my yard. He and his friends really get around. Anyway, Squirrely Squirrel, goodbye. All right, so let's finish up this problem. So it's at this second point after you did leave, change, flip, and it's now multiplication, that I also must see good reducing practices. Watch a mistake. A mistake is going to be if I divide this 8 by 4 and this by 4. And if you put a 2 here and you put a 3, you've just made a mistake and you will not get full credit. What do you think I needed to do? If you said cross these out, you are correct. Because if we're converting these two, if we're reducing, they are gone. I'm going to be watching for that step. And then what else can be reduced? 7 and 21. And if you said 7 can go into both, again, we're going to 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. And I like to circle these so they don't get lost. And anything that's left is going to go straight across. So just go straight across today. One problem per row. I think that's how it's going to work. You don't have enough room, I don't think, for more. I'll see if I can in just a second, but probably not. So this is going to be 2. And on this one, it is 9. All right. So that is my answer. I'm not going to ask that you do the puzzle. There's so many here. But if you want to, this is going to be 2/9. See how nice and neat this is without the big mess? And then go ahead and cross it off here. If you want to do the puzzle, you're going to put an I everywhere you see a 2/9. There might be more. I don't see any. But it's probably easier on this one just to cross it off. So we'll do one more problem here. Let me see if I can, maybe if I would have started way over to the left, I could have gotten one problem here and one problem here. I will try to squeeze it in. On the next one, I'll start it a little bit more over. So the next one that we're going to do is this one. So again, you're going to bring it over in this form, except if you have a check plus, you're going to do that. You can do that mentally and bring it over. So this is going to be, this one's going to be 6/1. This is going to be 1 times 16 is 16 plus 5 is 21. So 21/16. It is not 16/21. Do not invert it or do leave change flip mentally. I have to see the original division. So again, it's 21/16. So 6/1 divided by 21/16. And I'll just put the number of the problem right above, so it gives us a little bit more space. So I guess we can have up to 2. No more than 2 problems. We want nice organized papers. So then I'm going to go ahead and leave, change, and flip. So now it's going to be the 16/21. Right? Do you see anything that can be reduced? Well, some of you say no, but I hear some of you saying that's 6 and 21. It has what number in common? A 3. 3 goes into both of those. So we're going to divide those by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And there's no more that can be reduced, so we're going to go ahead and go straight across. 2 times 16 is 32. I'm running out of room. Again, I should have started way, way over here. Then that's going to give me the room for 2 problems. And then 1 times 7 is 7. And I'm going to just make a box so we can clearly see what the answer is. So 32 divided by 7. How many 7s? 5 would be 35. Would be too much. It looks like it's going to be 4. 4 times 7 is 28. We've used 28 pieces. So 32 minus 28 is 4 over that box size of 7. So let's double check to make sure that we got that right. Right here, right next to it. Oh my goodness. So if you're doing the puzzle, you're going to put an N wherever you see all the 4 and 4 7s. Then bring your answer, 4 and 4 7s right here. Because now we have space, you don't have to box each one off. All right. So I'm not going to do very many of these today. I just want to make it very, very clear. This is the method that you are going to be using. You should skip at least 1, 2 lines and then start the next problem. Now the one that we're going to do is we're going to go to the letter G. And this time I'm going to start it way over here beyond my red line, so that way we will have room for 2. And in fact, I can see where my next problem should go by folding this in half. So it looks like my G is going to go here, and my next one I could start right on that line. So that's going to space out the work nice and neat, or maybe even just a little bit before the line. See the difference between the other one? So now we've got a lot more room. So let's go back and read this one. Alrighty. So on this one, right, it says, how much candy did each child get? So yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll let you set it up here, but then we're going to bring it over. So I'm looking for candy. Did each child, it's the candy per child. which again, that's for one child. I'm not asking for candy for 10 children, so I don't think I'm multiplying. I have a feeling it's going to be a division. So let's go ahead and read this. There are 3 boys and 2 girls in the Crunch family. Get it? Crunch, Candy Crunch. Anyway, Mr. Crunch brought 3.5 pounds of candy to divide, oh, that's a clue, equally among them. How much candy did each child get? So, what do you think is being divided up? Remember, that always goes first. That's one clue. If you said the children are not being divided up, so that's not right. It's the candy that's being divided up. And the second clue was candy per child. Candy goes first. This tells you the setup. And then divided by the number of children. So how much candy was there? There was 3.5 pounds. And then they're dividing it by how many children? Well, these are children. Those are children. How many children are there altogether? You said 5, you are correct. So now we are not going to do any more work here. But I said when you bring it over, you can do the check plus. You may not do leave change flip. So let's go ahead and do this. So that's 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 2. So we've got 7 over 2 divided by the 5 over 1. It wasn't divided by 1/5 of a child. So please, it is going to be marked half wrong if you don't carry it over the correct way. So again, it has to be very clear that it was divided by 5, not 1/5. And I'm going to put a 1 under that. So 3.5 divided by 5 children. And then we can go ahead and proceed and do the leave. So 7 over 2, change, and then flip. And is there anything that can be reduced here? I don't think so. So it looks like, I want to try to finish this up before that line. It looks like it is 7/10. And 7/10 what? Okay, it's not 7/10 candy, it's 7/10 pounds of candy. So the final answer is 7/10. I might have to box this off and put my pounds, because it is a word problem. And make sure that is up there at the top. Where is 7/10? I see it. So again, you would put the letter G for every 7/10, or you may just cross it out. You can choose on that one. Then I'm going to do base. Again, I said this was going to be a short day today. So we're actually just going to do one more word problem, because this is the only worksheet that you are going to have to do. How much liquid fertilizer is needed to make 80 gallons of spray? So we need to have a total of 80 gallons of spray. 1 cup of liquid fertilizer. It's a concentrate, so you're going to add water to it to make the spray. 1 cup of fertilizer. It takes 1 cup of fertilizer to make 7.5 gallons of the spray. How much liquid fertilizer, in other words, how many cups of that fertilizer is needed to make 80 gallons? Well, this one I may have to draw out a little bit. Yeah, this one's a little crazy, and I don't want to use my space here. I'm going to take some space right here. So this is for the C. I've got, this is my total. So this is what I need. I need 80 gallons. Well, 7.5 gallons is made by using 1 cup. So let's write that. So 7.5. Then I would need 1 cup. Am I at 80 yet? No. So we can make another 7.5 by using another cup of the fertilizer. We're not there yet. I need another 7.5, and that means I need another cup of the concentrated fertilizer. All right. So what am I doing with this little rectangle? What is it that's being done? Again, if I knew how many 7.5s I would need, I could multiply, but I don't. So generally it's the opposite, which is dividing. And again, what's being divided up is that 80. I'm seeing how many 7.5s are in that 80. So how many 7.5s would it take, to get to be 80? So again, this is what I'm dividing up. What's not being divided up is the 7.5. Every cup is 7.5. So again, this is the part that's being divided up, divided by the 7.5. So I'm going to start it here. It is the 80 total divided by the part that's not changing. Again, in each 7.5 represents 1 cup of that fertilizer. So we're going to start it here, showing the correct setup, using the numbers that we have, and then we're going to transfer it over 80 over 1 divided by, what do you do with this? Check plus, you are right. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15 over 2. So let's copy that down. Again, no work today can be done on the worksheet because it is, I simply just can't even read it. So it is divided by 15 over 2. And I'm going to try to squeeze this a little bit together so I'll have room for the whole thing. Then what do we have to do? If you said dizzy division, leave, change, flip. You are correct. Now I could do, no I can't because I'm not letting you guys do this. Normally I would say some people go 160 divided by 15, but then you've got that long division. So let's make our numbers smaller. That's the technique that I want you to see, is how to reduce. 15 doesn't go into that perfectly, but does 5 go into both of these? Well, yes. So let's divide both of these by 5. Remember, this must be crossed out because they're being changed. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 80 divided by 5 is 16. And remember, if I'm dividing by 5, I usually, in my mind, I divide by 10, which would be 8. But because there's 2 5s and a 10, then I double that. So 80 divided by 10 is 8, and then I double it because there's 2 5s. That's how I got the 16 so fast. So here we go. So here's our 16 times 2. Multiply what's left. 32 over 3. Do you know what this is going to be? Well, if that were 33, divided by 3 would be 11, but we don't have 33. So what do you think? And if you said 10, you are correct. So you're going to have to write very, very tiny for it to not run over. So this is going to be 10. Okay, the 3 stays here. 10 times 3 is 30. And 32 minus 30 is 2. So that means it's going to take 10 2/3 cups of the fertilizer. And let's look for our answer. It is right here. And if you're doing the puzzle, you're going to put a C wherever you see 10 2/3. So let's put that answer here. 10 2/3, because that line is so tiny. 10 2/3 cup of fertilizer to make the 80 gallons. All right. So that is your job for this Friday. Your job is also to catch up on any homework assignments. You should be, like if I'm doing 15 today, Friday, the latest paper, you should be behind now at this time by only 1 assignment. So you need to catch up if you are behind more than 2. You're going to have to do double duty, and instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to have to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get caught up. And that's the way it's got to be, because we are scholars and we are going to do everything in an excellent manner and in a timely manner. Okay, girls and boys, you enjoy your Friday. Turn this in today, tomorrow, Sunday. As soon as you get in, I will accept that anytime. You have a great weekend.